Hello YouTube pipe community, OTC Piper coming to you. This is part of what I was talking about on my last video. I was waiting on some stuff to come in. The object of the video is not necessarily pipe related, so in just a moment we are going to chat a while with a little pipe and tobacco. And it's kind of getting windy out. You might hear some background noise. The wind's kicking up quite a bit. Some thunder is rumbling, leaves blowing around. Got a dog inside that may whimper once or twice. But you also may hear the slight buzzing of an amplifier. And this is where Christmas came early at the OTC house. Picked up a new semi-hollow. This is one that Ibanez made. Not everybody I know is, musically inclined or, may know what I'm talking about. But this has been long anticipating this one. There's some interesting backstory to this guitar, why I chose it, and kind of talk a little bit about my history as a musician. It's kind of interesting. But I have a solid body that I play when I need to play electric, and mostly I still gravitate to acoustic more than I do anything. But when you need to electrify something, you can't do it, really any other way. And this little ditty I always play when I'm testing out a guitar or looking out at a new one, or if I'm just warming up or fiddling around. It's one that part of all my growing up as a musician, and one of the songs that has been it never was a hit song, but it's one of those very underrated ones. It goes like this. That's just the intro. So, challenge. Who knows that song and can comment on the title and first line? Let's see, do that, and first one that can do that, send your contact information to otcpiper@gmail.com, and I'll throw a couple ounces of Voodoo Queen. It's out on my table, so I just thought that's what I'm going to do. Just have a little fun. But anyways, Christmas came early for OTC Piper. Turn that off now. So, let me get this lit up first. Got some coffee from earlier today. This is the one I always carry in my squad car, my little Blue Line Pelican brand tumbler. Today's going to be some Lane TK6 in my Missouri Meerschaum corncob pipe. Get that match going. There we go. Get my tool out. Need to aerate this. I think I packed it just a little bit tight. Give me some air going through there. Ah, there we go. Much better. Give me one more light. Sorry if I'm boring you to death, just taking the time to get my pipe going the way I want it. All right, now we're cooking. So, earlier in my life, when I say probably when I got into later in high school or starting college, by this point I'd kind of took a sidestep from my roots in folk style music and things like that, and I went to more of the rock stuff that the kids around me were listening to. I started to get into status things with instruments, and it was just unheard of that I would play in a band or something like that and not pay a couple $1,000s for my instrument, because that was just a thing you did. And everybody wanted to do that because all the rock stars had all this expensive gear, without realizing that a label was paying for that. They didn't really own it, and everything, they had access to it. It's just kind of the way the music business was at that point. I think I did a bad packing job on this. Let's see how it goes throughout. Anyways, I remember the first big line, big thing I bought was a Gibson Les Paul. Thought, man, that was just everything. It was just best thing, in the world. I'm a rock star now. I have this Les Paul. I was just a kid, and didn't make me play any better. Just kind of made me feel like I was in a different level now. And I don't know, as I got older and wiser, maybe married life and fatherhood had a lot to do with that. I started thinking, I probably don't need to spend thousands of dollars on an instrument. And so I started purchasing. There's always something missing, something that just wasn't quite the way I wanted it with any instrument that I would look at or purchase. And as I started to wise up a little bit, I'm thinking, as much as I'm spending, I shouldn't have any needs. There shouldn't be anything lacking on that instrument, but there was. So I would start to work with new pickups and electronics, things like that. And it got to where I realized I'm putting even more money into an instrument that I'm already putting way too much money into in the first place. So I started looking at certain qualities over a price tag. Because like this one here, it's got a mahogany neck. I think this one's advertised as a Sapele top material, and the sides and the back is all made of that. And it's a derivative of mahogany, I want to say. So let's just say mahogany. And this instrument cost $299. Couldn't believe it when I saw it. Picked it right up. And there are other guitars that are like it. Some of them by Ibanez, some of them by Gibson, things like that. That start out around $2,000 and can go up from there. And they're made out of mahogany. So I'm thinking, mahogany is mahogany. That's not the quality of sound. That's a characteristic more like. So I have this guitar that's a couple $1,000s less, made out of the same material. And I do some customization to it. I drop in some electronics and everything like that, maybe spend about another $100. And for $399, I have one that sounds better than a $3,000 guitar. So I was just thinking about that when I purchased this one. How things change as you get older, and you start finding value into different things. And I certainly have with this one. So I know a lot of you, like I say, I hope I'm not boring too many that may not be interested in guitars and all that, but it's just kind of a stroll down memory lane for me. I just, I still remember those days, and you know, I guess in retrospect, you know, you look back fondly on those times and wish you had known what you know now then. You know, had a good time, wouldn't trade it for anything, but I'm glad I'm where I'm at now, in a lot of ways. But anyways, that is what it is. Just wanted to get on, show that off a little bit, strum a little bit on the video. You know, all that. Don't really have much else to say. I hope everybody's doing well. And got to go catch up on some videos. I'm going to do that. And until next time, TC Pipers is wishing you all the best. Good times and a warm pipe.